Welcome again, everyone, to the episode of Storytime with Gerry from Gerry's Oldguyreview. And today's story is on the HG-802. Now, this is also for Toe Shifter, who showed interest, so that means that I got to make a video. Now, I can't find my fancy red tip pointer, which I guess is fortuitous. I get to use that word again. Because this guy will just work. Because this truck's all red anyways. So, many years ago, I picked this truck up. Now, when these trucks came out, they weren't as popular as they are now. So, being that I bought the, kind of in reverse, there's an 801, this is the 802, and there's an 803 Alpha, which the only difference between the 803 Alpha and the 801 is the bed raises, which is pretty cool. The 801 is just a Hemet truck with a box bed on the back, which you can take all the doors off if you want and have a flatbed. Now, the 802 is the semi-truck version. But here it is, one of the things I rant about all the time, is somebody coming out with a truck that is different. Way back in the 70s, there was the M983 Hemet semi-truck equipped to launch the Pershing II missile system. Now, back in the day, you just run around with a truck with a big missile sitting on the bed. But this pulled a trailer with the missile system on it, and it came with a generator housing and its own crane to reload itself. Now, the 802 just comes as, with this is just a flatbed area back here. But when these trucks first started circulating from the Banggood gang, they were $500. And this was the full system with the lights and the sound. Now, it's a little bit of a pain because everything's in the cab that you have to take off to get to the sound system that you can actually change some of the sounds. Now, prior to me finding out all that stuff, I didn't have a trailer, but I bought the crane system thinking it was going to be pretty cool. Since my 803A lifting bed, you can put a lot of weight in that bed and dump it. But this crane, this whole system connects with one single plug on it. So you just get the juice that's left over from this whole truck operating. So it's very slow. The boom can only lift 2 pounds. Now, what's nice is that once you plug that all in, it operates off of one channel. So you go side to side, you've got the bass. You got to watch it close because it's very slow. You've got an up and down. You've got the boom. Oh, that's the out. Okay. So you have to release the cable to make the boom work. The boom is actually working right now. Very, very slow, but very long once it comes out. But then again, you have to put the slack on the cable for it to do it. So if you want to go entertain yourself, I'm going to tell you this is hours of entertainment. Because that's how long it takes for everything to work. Let me see. I got to keep looking at it sideways. Yep, it's still coming out. And it works on, just basically the pressure system. So this, whoa, I used my stick the wrong way. This comes out all the way, and then the second stage will come out, and then that'll be the full length. I haven't played with it in a while. This was one of the first vehicles I tested with the associated CR12. But these trucks weigh 20 pounds. And doing this amount of detail into it takes forever. Oh, is it still? Yeah, it's still coming out. But this truck weighing 20 pounds pretty much goes where it wants on a level surface. But because none of the diffs are locked, it does not perform all that well in off-camber situations. But now I noticed with the 803 that I used, with a full bed load, oh, wait a minute. Got to get the cable coming out. There it goes. Oh, it's actually going by itself. Oh, it did. It was. Now it's not. Okay. Super boring, so we didn't watch that. But with the weight in the bed of the 803, it actually... Oh, second stage is coming out. It actually performed much better. Now, this one, the 802, I put my 20 million weight X-Max gear oil in it, and it performs a lot better. But this truck and the trailer that's like 40 pounds of hauling around. So, you've got to have, oh crap, I left that on. You've got to have lipo power. If you don't have lipo powder, you are going to burn through these pretty quick. Wait a minute, now I got my cable came off its roller a little bit. I let out too much slack. Well, I wasn't paying attention. Which you look out when this truck comes, because everything to change it again is in the cab, which you have to take off to get to. So it's already set up for lipo. And it says 2 lipo, and I wasn't even going to mess around with it. I just made sure I used 2S lipo. I'm seeing if it's still coming out. Well, you know what? That's probably good. Because now we'll swing it around. Now, I want to say I thought it does. Nope. That's it. I think that's fully extended. Nope. It's still coming out a little bit more. Hey, don't scuff up my paint job, you boom. Oh. I think that's fully extended. So, it was $500 for the truck. It's very aggressive side to side. So now we can, let me see. It's always better. I had a little weight set up. Here, let's just pull it out. So we put some weight on it to drag it back in. So I had a little weight set up for it at one point, and I don't know what I did with it. So I could make sure the cable wrapped up tight. Because if you let it go like I just did, it springs off. Oh yeah, it came all kinds of crazy wampus on there. So this little doohickey that came with everything to include a nice metal plate, so we added even more weight to it. It was like 120 bucks. So with the add-on, with the paint stuff I did, with the gear lube I did, you know, this truck was still, you know, less than, well, 5, 6, I think it was still less than 700 bucks. Now, the thing that you'll notice if you go to try to find one of these is all the ones that are sold from the American companies are $600 to $700, $800, and they have no lights and sound. And I'm going to speak from experience that installing lights and sound in an HG vehicle, even though they give you instructions, is a pain. Okay. And then now I made some videos with this before. And what's funny is, here's the pain of Banggood. So I ordered this from Banggood, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh, it sat in Chinese customs forever, Hong Kong. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Then all of a sudden it tells me that they couldn't deliver, or they can't deliver it because it was denied by customs. So I'm going back and forth with them. Oh, we're going to get you another one sent right out. Blah, blah, blah. And ends up showing up a month later. So I waited over 2 months for it. They said it failed customs. But meanwhile, the truck I got had a big custom stamp on it, and it had the exact same shipping information on it. So, needless to say, they didn't send me out a new truck when they ran into a problem. They just waited to get the original back and then sent it to me all over again. So, this truck got its own custom license plate because it's 112 scale. So I used 112 scale. Let's just go. It's got its own license plate. Crim. One of the few trucks now we've got Blackjack, and this one's Crim. So, I do have a truck named Bruce. That is my Sen F450. When I built that, it was an homage to my buddy that is his dream truck. So we named that one Bruce. So 3 of them got names. But this is, if you can get one, and once again, that's what sucks, is the fact that Banggood seems to only have the 801 in stock. And you can get that one for $500, $5.50. But you're going to deal with Banggood. And thankfully, prior to me or post me getting these, you know, I paid very little shipping for them. Now it's like Banggood charged you $100 to ship one of these. But, you know, if you don't care about lights and sounds, but I mean, the light buckets on this thing. This one only has, you know, the tail lights on it, but they are brake lights. You've got the marker light on the side and the roof lights, and they actually are very bright. Now, let me see. Should we we'll just reel that slow sucker in. Am I going the right way? You know, it's nice that, okay, that must not be the right way. Okay, maybe it takes a second. Let me see. Okay, now it's moving. If you don't do lights and sounds, but you want to do your own lights and sounds, this is pretty handy for the fact that this generator box is completely empty and you can put all kinds of goodies in there. Let's swap the radio section over here. So what I did in here, I'm so lazy. Let me get my tweezers. So what I did here is all the wiring is in there for the extra lights. So you've got this switch and I've got this, which makes the roof lights could blink in all kinds of different modes. And I see that my other lights are acting up again. Let me see if the side light's on. Nope. Yeah, I got a light kit in there. It was a cheap one. What was that? What is that brand? Where are my extra ones of those? Oh, Common Sense RC. So it basically just sits around, doesn't do a lot. But for some reason, wants to act up all the time. Yeah, I got lots of wires in here. Oh, you suckers. Which ones were you? There's so many on here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Is it that one? Oh, man. Well, what I did was, you've got the reverse lights back here. You've got these lights on this back. And then there's those two right here. Just so that when I had the trailer on it, it would light everything up. So it looks like I'm going to have to do something with those lights because they're not cooperating now. Which blows because it actually is pretty cool. The side one works better. The top one, I really got to move this boom around to get it to actually work efficiently because it tucks in there pretty good, but not completely out of the way. But these trucks on the whole, especially, you're doing, your own kind of project, your own thing with it. Did I hit that button again? Oh, so those lights. It's a pretty nice platform. Unfortunately, you're going to have to get like some plastic repair or something like that if you have one, because it's just whatever plastic they make the body out of, because most of this truck is metal. But whatever the plastic is they use, it does not like multiple screws and unscrews. And I know what you're thinking. Dirty minds. So multiple screws wallow it out. And you're going to have to get something, if you want to keep taking it apart, it is going to require some sort of plastic repair that you can put on there. I don't even know what that is. I just pushed this side button and it beeped. I didn't even know that was a button. Yeah, because these radios are crazy. But let's see about putting that baby down for stowage. But even, the crane is just secondary for me. It just looks cooler when I made it a civilian truck that it's got this big crane on it, but it's not necessary. The joy of using this truck is really not any kind of concern. It's just an extra doodad, which I can occasionally use. I can use it as like a tow truck, something like that. But boom. So that's pretty much with it stowed. And it's just there. You know, I can use it if I need to, but it was just a doodad. Now, back to the fact that the American companies are charging this ridiculous amount of money to get these shipped to you. It's the base model, which is the cheapest one they have if you bought them from Banggood. And then they turn around, even if they paid the $100 in shipping, to charge you $200 or $800 to $1,000 for one of these is ridiculous. So if you want one, shop around, but still, for what you got with this truck, hey, I thought $500 was pretty cheap compared to looking at some of the crawlers on the market. This truck, you can lock the axles. This truck is all heavy duty. Everything is metal on it. So if you drive it in the wet, they're going to rust. You're going to probably break bolts. And it's a lot of work to take them apart. Just the undercarriage alone. Let's flip her. So just for the fact of, okay, you want to take the axles off. They're leaf sprung. They've got cross members. This is all metal, heavy duty. Look at the size of those pumpkins. To take these off, it's a lot of work. But once you lock the axles, this truck is damn near unstoppable. You can't rock crawl with it, so don't even remotely think you can. You can, but you're going to spend a lot more money on it. And you're going to basically, have something similar to RC four-wheel drive, but all you would have to do is lock the diffs. That is literally, this truck with the diffs locked is a whole nother animal. And it's 1/12 scale. Let me measure one of these action figures, because I don't play with dolls or buy dolls. I only buy action figures. And what are these guys? They're 5-inch. 5-inch figures fit in these perfectly. And, again, very easy doors. I've got who's driving this? This is a cartoon version of Finn from the new Star Wars movies. Never let anyone say that we don't go through pains for our work, because I bring a tape measure, and when I go to the store for action figures, depending on what I'm working on, and I'll measure them, because a lot of them don't say what they are. But I also use some of my boys' old Halo figures. See, the 5-inch figures are a little bit, these tires are pretty big. 1/12 scale, I know somebody's got a formula for me, but they fit in the cab. They fit perfectly in the cab. They hold the wheel and everything. And I think these just look better with somebody in them. And this one, again, just because of the whole China whatchamacallit deal, this truck had a special place in my heart, and that's why he got a name. But if you can find one without lights or anything on it, the cheapest one you can find, and if you have an open mind to do different things, it's a pretty cool option, because even without, the bells and whistles on it, this is still a 20-pound vehicle. So you always want to carry an extra battery in your pocket. This truck makes it the easiest because the battery and everything is in the back right there. So the trailer covers it up, makes it easy. If your battery dies on the 803, you can plug in the other one and raise the bed to get to the battery. Or the 803, yeah. The 801, I don't even know. That one's got a lock bed. But this turned into a tangent because this is, this truck's been sitting on my bench. This was the video I was making the night that Todd Burris went for his stroll. So I never got to it. Left toe shifter hanging. So here's the video. HG-802. I've got 803, 802, the 4 whatever, the MRAP. I've got the Humvee, which I bought cheap from an American company to save money, and then bought the lights and sounds for it, and it is still disassembled on the other bench because it's a pain in the ass. But this one, you can get to everything pretty easy on it. If you wanted to buy a cheap one and get the lights and sound and put it in, this is my contender right here. Because having the taillights is pretty cool. And then the fact that everything, all the electronics are in the tank for everything else other than the lights and sounds, that makes it nice too. So there you go, toe shifter. There you go, anyone else that might have been thinking about the P802. I know I just kind of rambled through it. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And as usual, like and subscribe, FMS affiliate link, Old Guy merch store, all that stuff's in the description. The channel email, if you have questions, you don't want to put it in the comments, because at least with the email, you can include pictures if you have a question about something. So all of those are in the description. And from the workshop to your house, I will talk to you later.